Hola! What's up, guys? God damn, it's good to be back in LA. As much as I loved Chicago, Detroit, Toronto, Salt Lake, Phoenix, London, Manchester, and Dublin, there's no place like home. That Dorothy was not lying. That little hoe was not lying. There's no place like home. It's so goddamn good to be back. Busy morning so far. I had to find the kid at 7 a.m. this morning. And then I went and did the Rich Eisen show, broke down some Conor Floyd talk with them, tried to drop some knowledge on these mainstream peeps. Rich Eisen's my favorite, man. I love that guy. He's just a good dude. Do you watch Rich Eisen show?
I saw when you guys were on.
He's so great, man. He's one of the guys. You know, he's just a really, really good dude. So Rich Eisen, now we're here doing the Big Brown Breakdown. And I was off Abbott Kinney, strolling like a gentleman, getting some coffee before, doing the Big Brown Breakdown. Strolling around. It's Abbott Kinney, man. You know, per square foot, Abbott Kinney's the most expensive street in America. Do you know that?
I'm hearing that it's expensive, but I didn't know that.
It just passed, I think, 6th Ave in New York for most expensive.
Jeez.
It's nuts. And in LA, it just passed Rodeo Drive, which is nuts. This is from the realtor. She could be full of shit. Could be a Brian Callen dropping knowledge. Either way, it's expensive there. It's nice. I like to stroll like a gentleman. Someone across the street, yo, Shab, hey, what's up? Raise my hand like a goddamn good civilian. Stepped in a giant pile of shit.
Nice.
When's the last time you stepped in dog shit?
It's been years.
Right?
Yep.
Who steps in dog shit?
No one.
I mean, I had to change shoes. I got these Chelsea boots on now. I had my Golden Gooses on. I was wearing Rich Eisen. I'm talking this. I'm almost positive it was a giant English bulldog. I'm talking a mound of shit I stepped in. So I sought out, and I'm on my diet, so it was tough to do because I went into the ice cream shop down there, Salt and Straw, which is the best ice cream in the world. And they're like, oh, good to see you. I'm like, yeah, I got to buy something. So I bought a kid's cone. I was like, oh, do you have a bathroom? I'm like, yeah. I can smell the shit from here. Like, it was awful. Like, you have a bathroom? I'm like, yeah, they gave me the code. But no one was there because, it was like 11 a.m., so it's awkward. So I go in there. They assume I'm probably taking the giant dump. So it's so embarrassing. I go, can I leave this kid's cup here? Like, yeah. So I go in there, and they don't have any, like tissue, the
paper towels.
Paper towels. Yeah. They have nothing. And all they have is the electric blower to dry your hands. Okay. So I spray my shoe with water out of the sink. I take toilet paper, doo-doo paper, and try to scrub the bottom. Clogs the sink. It smells like complete shit. My hands were all shitty. I got some of it off. Got in my car. It smelled like the dog shit in my car. Came here, changed my shoes. It's a terrible. I mean, nothing.
You washed it good though, because it doesn't smell too bad in here.
You put that shoe up to your nose.
I'm not gonna.
It will smell like you just walked into Bangkok.
Why Bangkok?
Bangkok smells like doo doo, Chin. Okay. Straight up doo doo. Are you excited to be home, man?
Yeah, but
You love the road
being
life.
there. Yeah, I do. I love it.
Like our boys, and I don't want to mess up their names. Give all our boys. Andrew in London, who's a beast, created the hype video for us, followed us around. His boy, who's the photographer, was with us. And then when we went to Dublin, we had the whole team, man.
Philip,
Luke,
and then
my hairdresser Connor,
and then the photographer Lee.
Photographer Lee was amazing. Just all good dudes,
and
man.
The guys at the venue.
Dude,
Alan.
Yeah.
Alan, the guy that was in charge of everything. He was badass. And Alan, the merch guy. He was cool, too.
The merch guy was great, man. They were all freaking
Everyone was awesome.
amazing. When there's a team like that, it makes things so much smoother.
Yes. So cool.
So much smoother. It's just, again, what's interesting is if you've ever listened to Fire Kid before, Big Brown Breakdown, I always talk about how I don't like to travel, stuff like that. And comedy has gotten me out of my comfort zone and got me to travel. And I love it, man.
Dude, you seem like you do love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. When I'm away from home, I obviously miss my son and my routine and working out, my diet and doing the podcast normal. But when I come back, I'm like, dang, that was a really cool experience, man. That was so freaking dope. And then, we did like this mini doc series, which our boys should have it out. We should post a teaser on Instagram probably at some point today. But they follow us around the whole Dublin trip, just get some behind the scenes. And it was amazing, man. We decided to get tattoos. A guy like me selling out theaters internationally isn't supposed to happen. If you ever seen freaking Wreck-It Ralph. I'm the girl who's a little glitch in the game. Like, yeah, this is a glitch, and they're gonna fix it one of these days. But right now, I'm the glitch in the game. A guy like me is not supposed to be doing this. So we decided. I was like, man, let's get tattoos. This is crazy. And everyone was like, yeah, let's get tattoos. I was joking around. I go, Chin, you should get on your neck. And Chin was so down.
Yeah, I don't know why I was so down. I wanted one.
You want one on your? You still want one on your neck?
Now that it's in my head, I'm like, geez, I kind of want one. But
I know, right? That's how I get. If I think about something, people go, oh, wait on it. I'm like, yeah, no doubt. It's all I can think about.
Yeah. So one day I might pop in here with some weird neck tattoo.
Sick.
It's because nowadays you can cover it up. So I'm not too worried.
With what?
Those little...
With makeup?
Yeah, makeup stuff.
I guess The Rock covers all his tattoos. I'm super self-conscious about my tattoos. Really? I always cover them. Oh, if it's not if I'm not doing my own shows where it's my fan base, if I'm doing Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, anywhere where it's not my crew, I cover my tattoos.
What makes you insecure about it though?
It's of course the fighter has tattoos. Of course the meathead has tattoos. Like I'm already against, I'm already battling the stereotype. So you gotta try and help out as you can. It's like almost like if there's a female comic who's attractive, like Eliza Schlesinger, gorgeous. She dresses down on stage. Her body's ridiculous. Yeah. She's a very beautiful woman.
Oh, I know.
And when she goes on stage, she's not coming out with her tits hanging out and some tight ass black pants, because they're not going to pay attention to her comedy because that body will shut a comedy club down.
So a little distracting.
Same with Whitney. Like there's certain girls where you gotta, if Rihanna's doing stand up, is anyone gonna listen to the material? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. But yeah, we got tattoos. We decided to get lucky horseshoes. People are like, oh, get the Irish shamrock clover. That would be lame. Can't do that. And matter of fact, the Irish were even all about those shamrocks. They're like, that's stupid. Don't get any of that.
Patty Houlihan said that we should get the fighting Irish guy.
The fighting guy?
Yeah, he said that's a cool one.
It's too detailed, though. Like, if you did, like, the Conor stick figure one, but then you're a pure nut writer for the Conor tattoo. For God's sakes, I got to draw the line somewhere. Patty Hooligan.
Yeah.
Dude came out to the show. You guys know Patty Hooligan from the UFC. Remember that night when Conor said, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. Yeah. And I think the Irish that night, went 6-0. They went undefeated. Yep. And, Patty does his thing. So Patty comes to the show, and I had no idea. And Patty's going to come out here, come on my show. I'm going to set him up with a whole media tour. Patty, you know this. I'm a man of my word. He's going to come out here, come on the show and tell a story. But I think maybe went on MMA Hours talking about it, how he has a rare blood disorder. We can't fight anymore, where it's really not that big of a deal. But for the UFC and the commission, it's a liability. Yep. So he's forced to retire.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Fuck, man. He came and we're in the back and listen, man, you want to talk about a guy who could do something after fighting. Jeez. I mean, charisma, speaks well, Do you like Dags? But he's not like that. It gets even better, but he's a guy who could really do something, man, as far as podcast entertainment and be the voice of a lot of people over there. Charismatic guy, has something to him where you just like him.
Yeah, immediately.
You're just drawn to him.
Immediately.
Yeah, you can't. You can't work on that. You got to be born with it, and Patty has it. And so we're on the back, comes the show, and, he's having a good time. I think he wants to get into podcasts and stand-up. And, so I was giving him some word of advice, even though I've been doing stand-up for about 7 days now. So I give him some advice as much as I can. But I go, man, what's next for you? When's the next fight? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
And everyone around was like, you serious? And I was like, what? Who's he fighting? They're all, he can't fight ever again, man. The blood disorder. I had no idea. So I think it's important he comes out here, tells a story, and just really gets into it, and just his whole background would be fascinating. So he gave me his word. He's going to come out to LA, come on the show. And then I think he might be in Vegas the week of Conor's fight. So we could also do a podcast out there too.
Nice.
Either way, good dude, amazing stories. Great to see him. Then we went to the just an old school pub after, where the Irish fought off the Rebels. There's bullet holes. I'm drinking Guinness. Actually, I drank a nitro coffee today. Kind of reminded me of Guinness a little bit. It's a little frothy. Yeah. Dude, I love Guinness. I don't like any alcohol.
You never drink, and I remember seeing you drinking Guinness, like not more than anyone else, but just the fact that you're drinking a couple.
I probably had 7 a day. 7 a day. Felt great, too.
For someone who doesn't drink, that is pretty crazy.
I loved it, man.
Yeah.
I'm having withdrawals right now. But see, I heard it's not the same here in the States.
I've tried them both, and it's not the same. So I don't know. It's really, really good in Ireland. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's freaking there. Their food's better too because they don't have preservatives, all natural. No hormones, anything like that. We had great Mexican food out there, didn't we?
That was weird. That the best food that we had was 2 different Mexican spots.
Very strange.
Yeah, very strange.
Very, very strange. Trying to get back on the diet now. Stepping that dog shit it throws a curveball into things. Really fucks up your day. Really does. I'm excited to be back home and do the shows. And anyone who had tickets to the Ice House, we had to reschedule. That should have never been the day I come back from Ireland. That's just not smart. So they're rescheduling in September. As usual, I make it up to you guys. And then the only show I have booked now, we're going to have more in the books, but the only show that is 100% happening for sure, and it's almost sold out because we rescheduled it before, but that's September 22nd, Laugh Factory, Long Beach. Brendan Schaub live. I'm coming live to Long Beach. And I promise you it will be better than Uriah Faber and Snoop Dogg talking fights. I can guarantee that. That I can guarantee. I went on Rich Eisen today, and they're talking about, before Rich comes in the back, and I said, listen, man, and I love Rich. He's literally my favorite guy as far as NFL broadcasting. Him and Dan Patrick are my 2 favorites, and they're boys. But I love Rich. He's great. Just a guy's guy. And we're talking about sports coats. I'm talking about how, the coat I bought in London and all that. And then I said, can I ask you to please do something for me? Do not call this fight a spectacle or a circus act. And he just started laughing. He goes, I don't think it's that. He goes, I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me. You can ask anyone here. I don't think it's that. I said, if you do that, bro, it's a trigger for me. And he goes, ooh, maybe I should do it. I said, he can do it. I'm going to go off. You better have your censor button ready. And just started laughing. But it's fun on there, man. It was great on there. I'm walking a fine line right now. I was speaking to my boy Brian at Showtime before we started this podcast. Like, I'm walking a fine line because I'll see Paulie and Connor have had their things. I'm a huge advocate of Connor, what he's about. I'm a huge advocate of Paulie, what he's trying to do. And there's obviously this tiff. It's like it's like your 2 parents are fighting. I'm stuck in the middle here. I'm not trying to pick a side. I have my honest thoughts on it. And, with Paulie doing all this stuff, the one thing I can say that's positive out of all this is if Paulie was smart, and he is, and Showtime's actually helped him do this, instead of going around doing this huge media tour, how many people are waiting to hear what Paulie was going to say? How many people are like, God, we need to know what happened? Think if he had a podcast and he could get on there and just speak his narrative to the story. Not have this outlet tell the story, not do this interview, have this outlet tell the story, have this to do this, but you set up one of these and talk into it to your fans and the people exactly how you want to do it. The questions you want to talk about, the things that you think are important, not what this producer makes sure it has to get in a minute here or here, this person's agenda or this MMA media outlet's agenda who's probably going to be pro Connor. No, Paulie, if you're listening, brother, you can make a lot of money doing that. And it's so important because it's organic and it's your voice. So if you're going to battle this Mayweather machine or, this Conor McGregor machine, Jesus, man, you're like North Korea. You have 8 nuclears, and we have 180. So if you're going to do it, you're shooting blanks by not doing it yourself. It's a terrible reference, and I apologize, but you guys get it, God damn it. There's not a whole lot going on in the fight world. There's some good boxing matches. Lomachenko just did frickin' work. Jesus Christ. It was going on, I think, when we were in Dublin, so I didn't get a chance to see it live, but I did see the replay. I mean, he's the best in the world. He's the best boxer in the world. Pound for pound, number 1 in the world. Not even close. I'm sure it's in current events how he's asking to help Connor.
Yeah.
Current events. We'll get into it then. So that's about it. Other than that, there's no mixed martial arts. Listen, if you're throwing any sort of fight in the next 3 weeks, do you hate ratings? No one cares. The only thing that anybody's talking about, because 3 weeks away and it's close, is Conor McGregor Mayweather. That's the only thing. So should we jump some current events? And there's always news. There's always news. The mixed martial arts and boxing world's like the best soap opera for men. There's always something going on.
Hey, before we jump in, can we talk about that guy Dosbrack that came to visit you?
Oh yeah, Dosbrack.
How badass was that, dude?
So Dosbrack, it's at Dosbrack on Instagram.
Dosbrack.
He just made a Joe Rogan one, him in his ice chamber. He did one of me in the Conor McGregor Gucci thing with a Guinness on stage.
Awesome, dude.
This kid, he's young, is so goddamn talented. He is so talented. He's a different type. Like, you know, there's crazy talent like my boy Average Joe Art and Martin at Jurassic Graphics. But you're talking about 3 different artists. So you know, if you're talking about athletes, there's the LeBron, there's Aaron Judge, and then there's freaking Prescott. Right? They're all athletes, but there's 3 different sports. With artists, so Dos Brack, my boy Average Joe Art, and then Martin, they're all artists. Completely different.
Yeah.
So Average Joe for tour art, for just art in general is by far the best in the world. Mm-hmm. I'd say him and who's homeboy, Boss Logic. Him and Average Joe are probably the top 2 in the world. And then as far as like, I would just say I don't know how you generalize Dos Brack's technique or what you call it. I
still can't describe it,
but it's completely opposite than the other 3. It's amazing. Then Martin with Jurassic Graphic he does all our Photoshop stuff, all the tour campaigns, so the clean pictures of me with the text on it, all the Fire and the Kid art, the Big Brown art. He does all that. As far as when I say art, pictures with Photoshop graphics, all that. He's brilliant at marketing, strategizing. So you're talking about 3 different lanes. Mm-hmm. But Dos Brack, Jesus Christ.
Crazy, man.
And I told him, I said, dude, tell me you're doing this full time. He's like, I'm trying. I'm like, I've worked with a ton of artists. You need to be so goddamn in. You have talent and you can make a living doing this. Mm-hmm. Sell prints. Let's do a collab t-shirt. You start making money. Let's do this. So we're probably going to do a collab on a shirt or something like that. Nice. But check that cat out at Dos Brack, DOSBRAK.
Yep.
This boy, God, dog.
Ridiculous.
Stupid how talented he is.
I like that no one knows how he looks. No one knows what he looks like, too.
No.
So it's cool. I was like telling him that's a cool thing. You should keep that going.
I agree. But he's like in shape, young kid. Yeah. You know? Like not how you'd picture a typical artist.
I thought it was going to be older, like those painter kind of type
dudes. Me too.
Yeah, for some reason.
Or like, I don't know, like out of shape or something.
Yeah, out of shape. For some reason, I thought out of shape, too.
Me too. I don't know. It's strange, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to all 3 of those guys. All right, bro, let's kick this off.
All right. First one is your boy, Michael Rapaport.
Oh, my God. So hold on. So I just spoke to Rap before this. We're just talking shit. He won't shut up about this Conor Floyd fight being a spectacle. I'm going to wring his goddamn old Larry Bird looking ass. So, you know, he keeps saying this is a spectacle, blah, blah. Bro, you're the face of 3-on-3. Rap, look at me, you son of a bitch. You're the face of 3-on-3 basketball. We're talking pickup basketball, and you're trying to honey dick every fan in America. I won't even get into Dublin, London. They won't even fucking entertain it. But every fan in America to take this as a real sport, fuck you, Rap. Talk about a spectacle. It's 3-on-3 basketball and Michael Phelps racing sharks. You're in the same boat as Michael Phelps racing sharks, you fuck. God damn it. And then he talks shit to me. And this is what he says. Brendan Shaw popping shit about the big 3 because I wanted Rich Eisen. I went, if you're going to call it a spectacle, no, a spectacle would be what Fox Sports is doing 3-on-3 basketball. That's a spectacle. Allen Iverson, the front runner, the poster child of this, missed the last game. They asked him why. Because it's a pickup basketball game. That's why. I'm glad you got the gig, Rap, and I'm glad you're getting paid for it. Hey, Rap, look at me. And he's coming on the show next week, and it's going to be pure fucking fire. And we're going to create some crazy bet because he keeps talking shit about Conor. Hey, Rap, look at me. You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. And listen, if I want to watch 3-on-3 basketball, I will live tape on Facebook Live the pickup basketball game going right on across the street right now, 3-on-3. That ain't real, bro. That ain't real life. Rap, fuck. Play the video.
It's so funny how you're pointing and his face is on the screen looking back at you, so that's why I'm laughing.
He's going to bring the fire.
Brendan Schaub, you fucking... You talking shit about the big 3? Why don't you come to Staples Center this Sunday? We'll have a little 3-point shootout in front of the whole crowd. I'll show you what the big 3's all about. Huh? You come on out to Staples, all right? Bring small bills, you fuck you.
You fuck you. Hey, here's how you know that the big 3 is just full of complete shit. So he goes, you wouldn't know basketball from a beach ball. Bitch, I grew up playing basketball. Come shoot some 4s. There's a 4-point shot like we're playing NBA Jam and someone's on fire. That ain't real, bro. That ain't fucking real. There's no 4-point shots. That tweet just shows everyone how much of a crock of shit this league is. Come shoot some 4s. You lost me at that. I don't know what a 4 is. I know what a 2-pointer is. I know what a free throw is. I know a dunk, a layup, a crossover. I know a 3-pointer, a 4-pointer wrap. I feel like reaching through this goddamn camera and wringing your stupid Larry Bird neck. You fuck. There ain't 4-pointers. All right? You know who shoots 4-pointers? Flat earthers. You're the same as flat earther. 4-pointers, flat earthers. That's you, Rap. You're that guy. You're that guy. Get your cash. I hope they're paying you fucking well. I hope they're paying you well as you're in this 3-on-3 league and selling it as a competitive league. You and the problem is you need to get your head out of Ice Cube's ass and Fox. Once you're going to start smelling fresh air. You're going to, I can't wait till he comes on the show next week. We were talking, you were listening to it, you were calling and talking, we were just talking shit to each other. And I said, put your money where your mouth is. You're talking all this shit about Conor Floyd, put your money where the mouth is. He goes, I'll tweet you the bet, you fuck. I went, cool, it's on. Come on the show next week so I can wring your stupid neck. Busiest man in Hollywood, though. So happy for him. I fucking love Rap, but he is a fire plug.
So funny.
So funny. Wait till he's in studio. People are going to be pissed because nothing's going to get done. Because it's just be me and him talking shit one after the other.
That's the best part. You ready for another?
Yeah.
All right, you were just talking about it. That Vasily Lomachenko called out Notorious McGregor to spar since Malignaggi left. And he says, at Notorious MMA, need another sparring partner to test your skills against? And he has a phone to call me.
Listen, you guys know this. I'm a Conor certified dick diver. I support the guy fully. I think kids are going to be wearing Conor shirts, 20, 50 years from now, like we're wearing Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali shirts. However, I have to draw the line somewhere. Lomachenko would beat up Floyd and Conor combined in the same ring. He's the pound for pound greatest right now. Also, his style, it'd make no sense to bring Lomachenko in. But listen, and I love Lomachenko, and he actually, we follow each other on social media, and he knows I'm a big fan. His style's just not, it would do nothing for Conor. It would do nothing. It doesn't make sense. But every boxer is trying to get some shine from this match because there will never be a bigger boxing match than this.
Yeah.
Hate to tell you, boxing heads. I know you guys are all sad about it, and sorry the UFC guy had to come over and make it the biggest event of all time for you. I get that. It's great for both sides. Get over yourselves. Get over the sweet science. It is a sweet science. Now we're bringing art into the classroom. Art mixed with science is a great thing for everybody. Shut your yapper. But what's sad to me, and you see Chris Van Hooven, Heerden, you see Paulie, Lomachenko, everyone trying to get Amir Khan, Canelo, Triple G, boxers over here. They're the cute, pretty girl who's not getting attention right now. Come on, please, Conor, over here, please, over here, sweet science, please. I get it. It's boxing, It's hard to be a star in boxing. It just is. The way their platform is, it's very hard to break through, which is, why the UFC does so well or did so well. They're having their issues as well. What else you got?
All right. This is a little weird. So Sky Sports announced that Dan Hardy will be part of the Mayweather-McGregor commentary team.
I love that. It's Dan Hardy and Carl Froch, right?
Yeah.
I love Sky Sports, man. They're doing it right.
Which is great, but it seems like he's throwing a little shade at you.
Oh, really?
It says here, Hardy agreed that a lot of Schaub's analysis was hot air and hopes he can bring more knowledge and intellect to the table in his role. And then he goes, as much as I like Brendan Schaub, I'll admit that I thought a lot of stuff that he was saying was hot air. There's a lot of superlatives and celebration. There was not a great deal of substance to his analysis.
Yeah, and listen, I don't have too many bad words to say about Dan Hardy. I actually like him. I don't take it too bad, but also, Dan, kind of know what you're talking about. So as far as breaking down footwork and substance and analysts, that wasn't the job of this press conference. And the press conference was actually to talk about what just happened that we were witnessing, the pre and post fight show, and get people interested into the fight. Again, I love Dan. He's one of the best analysts there is, and I enjoy him, and I think he's going to do great for Sky Sports. I don't have a bad word to say about the guy. The only critique I would have is, you could for him. Listen, if there's a time, for the entire time I'm working with Showtime out here for the fight, the week of and the fight. If there's a time to break down analytics, break down numbers, footwork, game planning to a T, if that's what people want, I can do that, Dan. That's not the point of this. The point of this was they actually asked us not to do that, not to get so technical, because there's a lot of MMA fans, boxing fans who don't want that. So I can do it. The only advice I give to him is, he could use a little more color. Meaning you could lose so much of that footwork and analysis and maybe take notes from Joe Rogan or someone who's not so suited. Get the producer out of here. You're smart, intelligent guy. That's what I give him. This is not shade, but also. And I don't know why he even take a dig. Dan knows I like him.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
But also, there's a reason why they didn't have you on it, Dan. They want ratings, and they want to sell pay-per-views. You're not the guy for that job. I'm not throwing shade at him. It's not your thing. It's just not your thing. He's good at breaking down fights and calling fights. It's the same as like a Joe Rogan to Brian Stan or Joe Rogan Dominic Cruz. Or DC's a little better at it, but Brian Stan and Dominic Cruz are very black and white. There's no humor there. There's not a lot of creativity. Dan Hardy's the same way. They're fighters, right? So, and that's what it is. And I'm sure maybe during the broadcast there'd be room for him to break down the step-by-step stuff. In all honesty, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of that. There's not going to be a whole lot of technique talk. There might be what he's anticipating him doing. But you got to remember, Dan, this is a press conference and it's a pre and post fight show of what we're witnessing and what we hope to see and breaking down each one. So you got to know what you're signing up for. But I have no bad words to say about Hardy. I still respect Hardy. I like Hardy, but stay in your lane.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, what can you do? It's not too bad.
Yeah, not too crazy.
I'm glad he got the gig, though. If anyone's going to do it, he should be the guy.
Cool, man. All right, so the next one. This is interesting, very interesting. So the NAC, Nevada State Athletic Commission, is going to vote on lighter gloves for the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight. So they're actually going to go in front of the board on August, I think, 16.
But better do it soon.
And if both parties agree that they want 8-ounce gloves, and they give a good reason why, then they could actually waive it for them to wear those 8-ounce gloves.
Yeah, which is fascinating. I didn't really know that from the commission, but if both parties agree it's in writing, they can actually pass it if they both agree to fight 8-ounce gloves. And usually you can only fight 8-ounce gloves is if you're under the 147-pound weight limit.
That's still the rule, right? So this is just a different one-off.
This is an exception. Listen, they're making an exception having a guy who has a 0-0 boxing professional record against a guy who's 49-0. So why stop here? Mm-hmm. Also, 8-ounce gloves actually favors Conor McGregor. Because if Floyd Mayweather, and this is what I was talking about Rich Eisen, if you guys didn't see that, I'm going to repeat myself. Mm-hmm. But with 8-ounce gloves, listen, and I've been saying this for how long? If Conor McGregor lands let's say they both land the hardest shot they can land. Floyd is not knocking out Conor McGregor. He's a bigger guy, has a better chin. If Conor lands the hardest punch he can, Floyd will go to sleep. That's how hard of a hitter he is.
Yeah.
And with 8-ounce gloves, it makes it even more. Even gives Conor even better odds to knock him out and finish him. So I tip my hat to Floyd, man. Again, everyone goes, oh, well, should he have an asterisk if he does beat him and he's 50-0? Yeah, the asterisk should say not only did he get to 50-0, but he beat this dude who he had no idea about in 8-ounce gloves, and it was a fucking beast to get done. So tip my hat to Floyd on that. I hope they do it.
I hope so too now.
What else you got?
All right. Coach Winklejohn from Jackson Wink, He said that John Jones had an arm injury 2 days before UFC 214, and it basically he just couldn't lift his arm over his head.
How do you get hurt 2 days before? What the fuck
Wrestling.
Who's he wrestling? What's training partner was he wrestling where he hurt his arm? Well, it's even more impressive. But once you get in the cage, there's a lot. Listen, no one fights healthy. It's cool, but if you can't lift your arm, and once you're in the cage, you can be all right. Once you get going, warmed up. I'm sure after is a bitch, but no one really jumps in healthy. Obviously it makes the win even more impressive, but if you're doing camp right, you're never in there 100%. That doesn't surprise me.
Cool. All right. Stefan Struve, he hasn't been talking for a while. He says that cheaters like Brock Lesnar don't belong in the UFC. And then he wrote a big thing over here about saying, you know how they pretty much gave him an exemption when they should not have.
Correct.
So he believes it's just not fair.
He says, I think cheaters should not be in the UFC. Well, fuck, where do you stop at, Struve? I get you, man, but okay. And I think the UFC made a big mistake last time by bringing Lesnar in and giving him a 4-month exemption before the fight so that USADA wouldn't test him for 4 months, which is a normal thing to do if you bring back a fighter. I believe that if he were to come back now, he would have to go through 6 months of testing, so I'd be very curious to how those 6 months go. I think Jones beats him anyway, simple as that. Jones is too good of an athlete. I don't think Lesnar gets a hold of him and takes him down. John moves well. In other news, Dublin likes to get us. He, of course, yeah, I mean, I agree with him, but, we'd all pay to see it. I'd watch it. I don't give a fuck what you do with Lesnar. That's the world we're in. And also, when they give him the exemption, I don't know how bad Lesnar wanted to fight. They give him ideal matchup. They let him do steroids. Remember, they're all doing this to sell the UFC to show people that they're still a draw. Mm-hmm. So they're going to pull every stop. Do they still pull every stop now? I doubt it. They're going to make Lesnar go through every loop, hole, freaking jump through all the hoops and everything to actually be clean this time. So does he take the fight? I doubt it. Unless they give him some sort of exemption like they did before. If you force him to fight clean, I doubt it.
For 6 months he has to do it. Yeah.
I doubt it.
Wow.
I highly doubt it. That'd be the only reason why the fight doesn't come to fruition.
All right. So since we're talking about that fight, the headline here says John Jones' potential Brock Lesnar fight is equivalent to Mayweather versus McGregor.
How so?
This is what he wrote. He says, and I quote, I think I was inspired by Conor McGregor, to be honest with you, to just dare to reach higher. Me versus Brock Lesnar is somewhat equivalent to Mayweather versus McGregor. I guess the fact that he's reaching for something that seems like it's impossible.
That's fair. But listen, you fighting at heavyweight, we've talked about forever. I actually called on Joe Rogan's podcast a long time ago, you fighting Lesnar. That's not as far as reach as Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather. That was like, people were like, are you shitting me? That's never going to happen. When you're both in the UFC, anything's possible. It's not that far of a reach. I think maybe what he calls, he was inspired by Conor, just these super fights. Also, that's the world we live in now. We live in a society where belts it doesn't matter. Woodley being the belt holder, we don't really care anymore. GSP comes and he's fighting 185. It's all about super fights because that's what sells. Belts don't sell anymore. Ask DJ, ask Woodley, ask Joanna, Amanda Nunes. I could keep going all day, but belts, they don't sell. So super fights sell. So everyone's just following the Conor kind of game plan here to get these big money fights. I love the fight Brock versus John Jones. Take my money now.
He says a lot of people would assume that he would lose the fight. No, right? Most people.
Well, he's taking a page out of Mayweather's book there, trying to honey dick us. Maybe.
Gotcha. All right, check this out. Khabib and Tony Ferguson have been going back and forth on Twitter, and they both essentially agreed to fight each other at UFC 217.
Oh my God, please make it happen. I swear to God, Khabib, if you even say the word tiramisu, I'm going to bust. If this fight does not come to fruition, I'm going to freak the fuck out.
They would not do it anymore, right? If something happened this time?
Listen, if Khabib doesn't make weight or has to report the hospital, miss a fight, I don't know if he ever fights again.
Yeah.
If he does, no one's going to chime in anymore. God, I hope that happens. I mean, that New York showdown,
it's looking
you could have Tony, Khabib, Holly, Cyborg,
TJ.
You got TJ, Cody Garbrandt, and then you also have GSP Bisping.
Yeah.
If all that comes to fruition, all that comes to light, best UFC card of all time so far. Just going off the top of my head.
Better than 214? 214 was pretty
Those are
cool.
better. You won't have a Woodley Mai on there.
That's true. Retrospect. Okay, this is cool. John Jones was on what is this, Maggie Gray Sports Illustrated show? And he said that he would drink before fights to challenge himself to make it more difficult.
God damn, I just became a bigger fan. God, dog, that is gangster. Like right
So
before
gangster.
a fight?
Yeah, the night before.
Oh my God. How cool is that? I mean, for sure not a role model, but fuck a role model right now. I almost did accept during self-destruction things. Somewhere in my head I was doing it to challenge myself to see what type of adversity I'd fight through. God damn. John Jones mentioned that he would drink before fights and go do stupid stuff just to stack the deck against him, make it even more difficult. Let that sink in. Jones said he used partying as a crutch because there's something that's really defeating about doing all the right things and coming up short.
So that's a mental thing, right?
That's interesting. Yeah. It's called self-sabotage.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys in entertainment. I got, a lot of guys close to me who, there's always self-sabotage because there's a reason why they didn't make it. They're never going to put all into it because it's embarrassing if they didn't make it if they did. So they're always not fully committed to anything, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It sounds like that's what John was, but still somehow managed to pull it off. God damn, that is impressive. I wish I was more like that. I really do.
Self-sabotage?
No, not self-sabotage, but like just a little more loosey-goosey. Like I thought I was a straight-up rebel drinking Guinness and going on stage. I was like, you bad, boy. You bad. Oh, my God. You are dangerous. You're like fucking Andrew Dice Clay up here. You are a savage, man. 1 Guinness on stage. What else you got?
But you chugged it. You chugged it super fast.
Well, no. Originally, I was just sipping it like a gentleman, like an Irish gentleman, and then the crowd started chanting, chug, 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 which I hope they got on tape. And I was forced to chug that thick, cold molasses drink and almost shit my pants. I almost finished it, though. And I went,
you
damn,
did finish it.
I finished it, but I stopped at the very end. But they're like, no, boo.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you get it. Dude, they wouldn't let you get off the hook.
I didn't know. I thought that's what everyone did. And then Patty was like, no one chugs that shit. They were just doing that's peer pressure. They just wanted to see you do it.
And it worked.
It definitely worked.
Have you tried it since? Are you going to go to the market and buy Guinness after this?
I'm on my diet now. I'd love to. I'm literally fiending for it. My mouth is watering. But I'm worried I'll be an addict if I keep going that direction.
Maybe a non-alcoholic version.
Nah, that's lame as fuck.
That is lame, yeah.
What else
All
you
right.
got?
Let's see. Okay, so this is more Malignaggi stuff. There's a guy, his name is Tiernan Bradley. His sparring partner, Carnage?
Yeah, he has an interesting blog, too, if you look this kid up.
Okay.
Carry on.
Well, he said that, you can see this whole thing written here, but...
On Thursday, we're getting changed. So this is from his blog, the Irish News, I think. Tiernan Bradley. Part of it, then, yeah. He's one of his sparring partners. So on Thursday, we're getting changed after training at the UFC Performance Institute. And that's when Paulie saw the photo for the first time. He was clearly pissed off, showing us his phone, saying, what the fuck, or whatever. It was weird because after that, Conor came into the change room, but Paulie didn't mention, even though they did speak. We're in the car home from training to get food, and Paulie was like, drop me back off at the house. You could see he was hanging his head, thinking about things. He was in a bad mood. We left him to the house, and when we came back, he was gone. We were only away about 45 minutes. He must have been straight in, suitcase packed, out the door. When you join a Conor McGregor camp, you know pictures are going to be released every day. Sometimes they might not be the most flattering. It's what you sign up for. I added this, what you sign up for. Yeah, I mean, listen, I wanted to have Paulie-Conor today. I haven't heard from him. I talked to him probably 2 days ago. Like I said, I write this fine line. I respect both guys. I don't know the exact story on each end. But for Paulie, he's almost coming off as a bitter ex now, and I love Paulie. I don't know. Is Paulie trying to campaign for a fight with Conor? Would you pay to see that?
I would be way more interested in that now, but I don't know how interested I'd be in it. But I'm way more interested than I was before. Before, I wouldn't have cared about it.
Too, it's crazy. It still breaks 2 million pay-per-views. Especially now after the Conor stuff. Depending how the Floyd-Conor fight goes down, Conor decided to fight Paulie, it still breaks 2 mil.
Just reading this
under McGregor Promotions too, so huge payday for Conor.
Also, if he did it himself,
that's what I'm saying.
Make a ton of money.
You don't need the UFC for that one.
Yeah, but when I read this stuff, it just seems like it feels like someone that's been hurt by
That's the thing, and knowing Paulie in a short time, and me and him have come very close. Paulie's a guy who it's a respect thing. Like there's guy code, and you don't treat someone like that. Like I'm there to help you. Don't dishonor me. Don't blast that stuff out. From my sources, I may or may not have been with the Mac Life in Dublin. Conor's team did not blast those out originally. It was from a second source who was in that same training room who posted to his Facebook page, and then everything got picked up. And then Conor's team was like, all right, but, I see both sides, man. I see both sides. I really do. I think Paulie's hurt. I think Conor literally didn't bring him in to make friends, brought him in, as he said on the Showtime production, I'm bringing Paulie in to fuck him up. 6 months ago, he said, you could beat me with one hand. He said all these things. I'm literally bringing him just to beat him up. Paulie thought they would fight, be friends now. That's not the case.
Alrighty. Let's look at this. So,
Kevin
according
Iole,
to
he's my favorite, man. I love that guy.
Good. So Dana White and what the hell is it? Mayweather's promoter's name again? I forget.
I forget too.
Anyways,
he looks like a walrus. I know what you're talking about.
They both agreed that there's no rematch clause in their fight. So I thought that was interesting. No matter who loses, who wins, whatever, there's no rematch clause.
That's interesting because maybe they'll make it no matter what and both get paid more money. I'm not mad at that, but yeah, because you could do it again. So let's say watch. I guarantee you, if Floyd goes in there and for whatever reason the fight gods like Conor McGregor land a flush left hand, and in 20 seconds he knocks out Floyd Mayweather. Mm-hmm. You're crazy if they don't fight again.
Yeah.
Or if it goes 12 rounds and everyone's like, oh shit, who's going to win this? You're crazy. You don't think they fight again to pay for this money. To get all that money back. It's not Al Heyman.
No.
That's him right there.
Yeah.
He's a human
wars. Yeah. Leonard Ellerby.
Yes, he's awesome. Nice to me.
He seemed like he was enjoying the moment too. Even when Mayweather's getting booed.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like there living up the moment, used to it. Just enjoying everything.
I like it, man. Yeah. I think, it says there's, why a Mayweather-McGregor rematch won't happen. Never say never. If it's a close split decision, if someone gets knocked out early, it's controversial. With this big of a payday, you will see another one. I guarantee it.
Are you going to watch that fight at, you might actually be at the fight.
I'll be working the fight, yeah.
So, say you weren't going to go. Would you watch that? Your house. You wouldn't go to an actual public venue because it's such a huge event. I'm thinking is it better to watch it with other people or just with your friends?
Oh my god, I love watching fights at my house with no one talking my ear off. Showtime will have a ticket for me if I wasn't watching it. I prefer to watch things at my house.
Oh yeah, you for sure. Yeah.
I love being home.
I think for someone like me or regular fans, I'm wondering if it's better to watch.
You're on Buffalo Wild Wings or some shit.
Not Buffalo Wild Wings, but. Somewhere where, because if something crazy happens, you have this huge crowd around you. It's like the closest thing next to actually being at the venue watching
Throw a party at your house.
Yeah.
So you can pick and choose.
My friends, not everyone enjoys boxing or fighting, so.
But I feel like they'd come out for that.
They would definitely come out for that. All right, so check this out. Francis Ngannou. This same guy that we talked about during your show, the live show, the Shamat Karasandu, he posted this video of Francis Ngannou punching, and it says it's incredible hand speed. But you tell me if this is incredible hand speed since you're a better judge.
It's fast for sure. It's quick. JDS or Stipe or I could definitely post a video doing that. It's not. I wouldn't post that on Instagram. No. He's fast for sure. He's a beast. Big fight against JDS. He's catching JDS at the right time. He's quick for sure. He's fast. That's not like mind blowing. That's not like BJ Penn jumping out of the pool at fucking 5'3" on the 6 foot fucking pavement, or Chad Mendes jumping out of a pool. That's impressive. That's what fighters do.
All right, here's another one. Okay, so Coach Winklejohn said that after Cyborg fought Tanya Evinger, he found some holes in her game. And he thinks that Holly can take advantage of those holes and win the fight against Cyborg.
Perfect. So make the fight happen.
Yeah, so Cyborg's simple. Holly Holm doesn't turn down fights, then Jackson Wink MMA should let her fight at UFC 219. Holly's last 4 fights showed she's beatable too.
Yeah, no shit.
And then Clarissa Shields mentioned Cyborg going, hey, say what? Not on my watch. Cyborg's sister. Let me know when you're ready to start preparing for her. I got you.
Yeah, they love each other.
Yeah.
Clarissa with her boxing pedigree might help her, and Holly has a good boxing pedigree, but her kickboxing would be the issues for Cyborg. Stylistically, it's Cyborg's toughest fight, but yeah, she walks through Holly. How funny it would be in this weird fight world we live in. Obviously Holly murked Ronda. No one thought it was going to happen. She goes on to lose, 3 in a row? And then she wins one, right? Beats Bethe Correia with a head kick. And then, she kind of down and out, and then she knocks out Cyborg with a head kick.
Then everything's erased, right?
She's number one of all time. Number one of all time.
Jeez.
She could easily salvage anything she's ever done by beating Cyborg. Mm-hmm. Does it happen? No. I think Holly had a better chance of beating Ronda than she does Cyborg. Mm-hmm. Not even close. She has a way more difficult task beating. See, I think Cyborg's the best female fighter of all time.
Yeah.
The toughest to figure out. You want to take her down, good luck. If you do go down, though, she's a black belt. Her striking, she hits like a man. Like so much power, confidence. She finally has the belt. There's way more obstacles for Holly to solve with Cyborg than she had with Ronda. With Ronda, avoid the armbar, kick in the fucking face. With Cyborg, avoid the left hand, the right hand. Don't get taken down. Don't get in close. Don't let her get you down on the ground because she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She has a great chin. We've never seen her been beat. We haven't seen any holes. They say they've seen holes, but fuck, man, that's a great fight though.
Yeah.
But after she beats Holly, what do we do? What do we do? Megan Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only women's fight that I would. And that's
I would pay for Cyborg Holly. Mm-hmm. That's the best. That's the best fight in women's history. History. Name a better one.
Well, before I knew that,
I'm saying that, so I guess you could say Misha versus Ronda, but then, Ronda was so limited and one-sided. But as far as like skill-wise, skill versus skill, mm-hmm. and where they're at in their careers and where MMA, like at the time, it's like when people say Mike Tyson was the best of all time, but then when you go here, someone carries the torch and the game advances. Well, MMA, the game's advancing from year to year at a rapid pace. So at time, Ronda was the best. Before that, you had Gina Carano. Then remember, Cyborg beat Gina, and then she keeps going, gets better and better and better. So right now in sports, Joanna versus Shevchenko. Joanna versus Claudia Gadeja. Skill-wise, is probably more competitive because both they're such freaks. And I think Joanna is the best striker in the UFC. But as far as Cyborg and her legacy and Holly and what she's done, it's the best fight in women's sports history.
Man,
the stories, the timing, where Cyborg's at, where Holly's at. Granted, it sucks Holly lost those 3 in a row. That kind of fucked things, but
if she does win this fight, then
she's number one of all time. Yeah. She's the best female in combat sports history. Knocked out Ronda. You're undefeated before that. And then those other losses it doesn't matter. You beat the 2 best to ever.
And the losses were like not. Well,
Misha got choked out by Misha. She was winning the fight.
Yeah, last second.
And then Durandamine,
she got hit after the bell twice.
And she got fucked.
Yeah. So yeah,
she's best of all time. No pressure.
Good argument.
No pressure. What else you got?
All right, so Michael Bisping has had a rough time on his vacation in Hawaii.
What? I love Hawaii.
Well, his car, so he has a rental car with his family, and then when they went back, it was busted open. They stole some stuff from the car.
Okay.
So he's like, man, I have to go back to the rental car company, switch it out. He goes, no, I don't want to waste the day. I'm going to go drive off to whatever new spot that they're going for their vacation. They go to the second spot. It gets broken into again.
Jesus
because, there's no windows. The window's broken, so someone took more stuff out of his car. And
what part of Hawaii is he in? Everyone in Hawaii's been awesome.
I don't know.
Where the fuck is he in Hawaii?
Maui.
Okay.
So then he goes to this beach location, and they have, I guess, paddle boards with his family, and they go out into the ocean, and then they get caught up in this current. So he's, like, protecting his daughter, and then two other women came swimming by because they're losing they're drowning as well. So they try to hold on to her board. So he has to let them stay with his daughter on the board, and then rescuers come. So he stayed back because he's a man. He wanted to be macho. And then he felt like he was drowning too. And eventually someone was able to save him.
Jesus
So all these
Christ.
events happened to him during his little Hawaiian vacation.
God. Love me some Bisming, but Jesus Christ.
So he almost died.
I mean, he almost died. I mean, I've never had bad experiences in Hawaii. It's always been the greatest place on earth besides Dublin. Jesus Christ. That sucks. I'm trying to go on vacation myself, but I don't want that. What else
you want to go far?
No, I don't want to go far.
Somewhere, yeah. Just you want just time off and just chill.
Yeah.
All right, this is just funny. I don't know why. So Chael Sonnen talked smack on Tito Ortiz. You know how Tito Ortiz, at the event, you were there. Tito Ortiz was kind of just glaring at him after he won and stuff.
Yeah,
so
people were booing or sent a weird chant to Tito.
Dude, they were chanting Tito a lot, which is weird.
But it wasn't good. They're saying something like, fuck you, Tito.
Yeah, fuck you, Tito, multiple times out of nowhere, which is messed up. But anyways, Chael Sonnen says, I thought his behavior was bizarre. Tito Ortiz is a drug addict, and it's kind of hard to imagine he's going to be rational. I could see his eyes that night. His pupils were the size of Easter eggs. I knew he was high and didn't know what he was going to do. He's just straight up calling him a drug addict out of nowhere.
Chael's hilarious. I love Chael. Yeah. He put Dan Henderson and Randy Couture were right next to him, which makes me think he might have wanted to pick his audience better. I had my hands full with the fight, but Henderson even gave me the look at one point, and I knew that look meant, because I've known Henderson for 20 years, that look said, you want me to handle this? Oh my God, that's great. Now, I don't like Tito, but I don't hate Tito enough for me, because that isn't going to go well for him when Dan Henderson gets involved. I love that.
I don't know. It was just a little.
It's hilarious.
Funny.
What else you got?
Let's see. Volkan Ozdemir is calling out Gustafsson.
God,
and the way he called him out was interesting too. He goes, "Let's increase the value of this next title shot," and he calls out Alex.
It's smart because there's no way. Listen, I love Ozdemir as much as you guys. I think it's great what he's doing. And
you give him no shot.
Against John Jones?
Oh, I thought you were talking about
against Gustafsson. No shot. But however, you're not going to get a title shot. He has 4 fights. He's not a well-known guy, so there's no chance of doing it.
Number 3.
It doesn't matter. He could be numero uno. They're not giving him a title shot. He's just not well-known enough. Again, it's not my fault. I'm pure. So if you beat the guy, you should get the title shot. Mm-hmm. But him calling out Gustafsson's a way better plan. It depends how long John's out, because John versus Gustafsson will be the next title fight shot. But if for Gustafsson, if you want to stay active, you want, an easier fight in the top 5,
take it.
I guess it depends. I don't. If are they talking about him fighting John and soon? By soon, I mean by the end of the year. You wait. It's rare you get a title shot. Osmeyer has a lot of confidence, so he's not a guy exactly you want to risk, coasting by on, because he has obviously crazy power in his hands, and he has a lot of confidence, so you don't want to risk it if you're guaranteed a title shot. If they're talking about you fighting someone else, yeah, man, you take that. You fight homeboy in Madison Square Garden on November 4th.
Look what he says here.
# King of Europe.
He goes, I know you're great, and I respect you, but I'm going to knock you out. Not because I want to, but because I have to.
I like it, man.
It's cool. He's being more vocal.
It's a smart play, and you got to be vocal this day and age. If you're not, you're Brian Callen of social media. What else you got?
All right, I don't know how exciting this is for you, but Paige Van Zant and Jessica Ai are targeted for UFC 216.
I like that fight. Paige hasn't fought in a while. I like that fight, though. 216's where? Is there a headline around that? Is it Mighty
Las
Mouse?
Vegas, October 6th.
Is it the Mighty Mouse card?
I think so.
Oof.
Let's check here.
So you got announced as Dariush Evan Dunham. That's a fun one.
Oh,
did that not happen already?
Stipe versus Kane if they get it together.
That's not happening on that. Almost positive that's not happening. That's not going to be your heavyweight on that fight.
Yeah, but that would be the
so you got Dariush Dunham, Lance Will Brooks, Walt Harris, Trujillo, Litis Tavares. That's a fun one. Paige Van Nance. I mean, not, but for a pay-per-view, that they better You better get going, UFC.
Yeah.
You want anybody's money. There ain't one person on the card going to sell that bitch. Sheesh. And I'm assuming that they got a ways to go since October, but good God. I'm assuming those are just the prelims on there.
Most likely. I don't see anyone that's... Except for Will Brooks,
It says Steve Avers came last year's Target headline.
Oh, actu's Trujillo
According
versus
to my
Venado would be
sources.
great.
Yeah, but that's still not, that first bout on the main card. If you're going to get people's money, that ain't happening on there. What else you got, Jim?
All right. Dana White says Floyd Mayweather could destroy Conor McGregor's life if he utilizes anything outside of boxing techniques.
Hold on. Dana White says Floyd Mayweather could destroy Conor McGregor's life if UFC... Well, yeah.
Money-wise.
Yeah, because listen, the question I get all the time on the streets is, what if Conor threw a leg kick or a knee or a Superman punch? He can't do any of that because Conor won't get paid. Like, that's the first stipulation in this whole contract. Conor cannot play any of that dirty tricks. If he does not get paid.
And
Conor knows that. And also, if you know anything about Conor, he's not a dirty fighter.
And he'd be sued. So he would actually be sued.
It'd screw him over completely. It's not worth it. He's better off, let's say worst case, he's getting outclassed. You're better off just taking that. If you do that, you're super screwed. And you also embarrass the entire mixed martial arts community and yourself. You wouldn't do that. What else you got?
I got one more. And this is just funny. This is too long of a clip to play, but Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp were going at it, talking about Mayweather and McGregor.
Says skip to 320 for the insanity.
You want to see some of it?
Yeah, please. How long can we play before we get kicked off?
Let's see.
Nate Diaz got him. Huh? The first fight against Nate Diaz.
Speaking of fighting a bigger man, a guy who outweighed him by, I'm going to guess, 40 pounds and had 5 inches of reach on him and got him on the ground. It's called wrestling, sumo-style wrestling, and he just pinned him.
Oh, my God.
How did he get him on the ground? He put them things on him first and knock him down.
He put them things on him first.
Down, he got a hold of him and dragged him down.
Yeah.
See, this is
Yeah.
This is UFC. All of a sudden, Conor gets to do what Conor has always done very best, what he did against Nate Diaz the second time around when he said, I want him soon.
This sounds like me talking chemical engineering. Yep. And a producer in my ear going, now talk about this molecule. Talk about this, and me trying to honey dick you guys.
Now.
They have to do it, like they're Fox Sports and they don't know what they're talking about. And a producer's listening to my show and listen to another show and then trying to tell Skip, hey, paint this narrative, and then Shannon Sharp trying to defend Floyd Mayweather, and you just got a shit show.
It's just so funny, though. It's
so
almost like it's purposely they're doing this, yeah.
It's so bad. I love it, man.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, the bummer is, they're mainstream media, so people will listen to it and think it's, word.
Yeah,
that's the bummer. That's the bummer. Keep scrolling down.
He said 5-inch reach advantage.
And it's 2-inch. I mean, that's probably the
sumo
least of
style
them.
wrestling.
The sumo style wrestling hurts my feelings. Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah, listen, what are you going to do? They're one guy comes from a Dallas football Cowboys background. The other guy played football for the Denver Broncos. If you turn into them to break down Mayweather, Conor, you deserve to be honey dicked and get bad information. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just, you got to know what you're listening to and the medium you listen to, and also know who pays their bills, and that someone is feeding Skip Bayless this information. He's forced to call us because it's such a big fight, and anything that anyone says on this fight, even if they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, is going to get picked up. So he's forced to try and regurgitate this stuff, and it's just coming off so fake, and we all see it, and it's just bullshit TV, and the ratings are down, and Shannon Sharp's here to defend Floyd, but he doesn't know boxing, and it's just this perfect storm of fakeness. And that's, unfortunately, that's a lot of TV these days, but I wish him the best.
Yep.
Is that it, brother?
That's it, man. I
dig it, man. It's good to be back in the studio. Last one we did was in London at 2 a.m. I thought I was going to die. I'm catching up on my sleep and stuff, but I'm excited to be back, man. And, yeah, we're going to have Rapaport on the show next week. He might co-host the Fire and Kid, or I'll have him on the Big Round Breakdown. Either way, it's going to be a fucking shit storm. And then we should have an interesting guest. I got Cyborg coming back on very soon to talk about everything. Holly Holm, what's next? She should be coming in the next 2 weeks. Thought I was going to have Paulie call in today. He was busy, got tied up. But we got some fun shows coming on. I'll be on Rogan next week as well. So just a lot going on, man. As usual, I appreciate everyone who supports the podcast and came out to a live show and bought a ticket. I literally can't thank you guys enough. I freaking love you guys. So till next time, bigger, browner, badder. I'm Brendan Schaub. I will be live in Long Beach September 22nd. For 22nd, Jesus, sorry guys. tfatk.com for anything related. tfatk.com for Big Brown live tickets. Brendan Schaub live. Sorry, we're no longer calling it Big Brown Breakdown live. All right, bigger, browner, badder. Till next time, I'm out.